Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. Have I just started the stream correctly? I think I have. I hope you're all happy and healthy doing the things that you love. Welcome back. Have I set this stream up? I don't even know if we're live. Are we live? Is anybody there? I think this is all going okay. Guys, smash the like button if you are new around. You know what I've done? I have messed this right up with the timing of the show. But either way, we're going to get in. We're going to get in now. Guys, let's ask you for some favors as we get going. Smash the like button for me. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell and drop some comments. Let me know your thoughts on today's topics. And we have for you about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, about 15 updates for you of various topics. Some about Matisse Tell, some about Christian Romero. We have to going to go a little bit further afield to find some decent transfer news, views, and clues. But it's a little bit worrisome that Manchester United, the team that you would have thought would be struggling right now for their There we go. We're back. For all intents and purposes, and Buemo is now next on the list, and also Liam Delap, £30 million. What's going on here? I had to reach out to Tottenham last night and said, how exactly is it that Sky Sports are reporting that Manchester United have had conversations with Liam Delap, that Chelsea have had conversations with Liam Delap, that Leeds United have had conversations with Liam Delap, that Newcastle have had conversations with Liam Delap, but that Tottenham haven't had any conversations with Liam Delap, especially when Liam Delap has got basically two fundamental contingencies or conditions, rather, to be picking the team for what is an incredibly fair value. £30 million, I think, is an absolute. What do you get for 30 million quid these days, guys, in the striker market? It's absolutely madness. But yet, those conditions, Tottenham can match one of them. He wanted Champions League. The other condition was that he would prefer to move back to the Northwest. He obviously was part of the Manchester City youth team, and so he would prefer to move back. But you know what? Maybe it was just the fact that he was in Ipswich and he preferred to be back in a city. But if Manchester United are going to sign him, they can't offer you Champions League. You know, based on what we've seen this year, that club is in freefall. They are still dining out on their reputation created by a guy who left the club about 20 years ago or 10 years ago in Sir Alex Ferguson. Because they are not that special right now, are they? Let's be entirely honest. And they're absolutely cash-strapped. And yet they could be currently, like, hands down, having the best window so far. And then people keep saying, Sean, the window's not even open yet. The window's not even open yet. Doesn't matter when the window opens. The window opens is when you can, like, hold up the shirt. But the deal can be done now, as we've seen with Matheus Cunha, as we're seeing with people like Florian Wirtz going to Liverpool. Tottenham still feels like we're in hangover mode. And what's interesting is that whenever I sort of say in my piece on why I don't particularly rate Ange Postecoglou, I get the people that were Ange out, that are now Ange in, on sentimentals and vibes and good feels bases. When I remind people of the reasons why Ange out is a worthwhile cause or consideration, I'm told, Sean, shut up, mate. Can't we just enjoy this moment? I'm like, yeah, fine. Do what you want. I'm looking forward to the next. For me, the cabinet is now fuller, but the door is shut. Now we need to move forward. So I'm thinking about what's next. But I'm told, shut up, Sean. Don't want to hear this. Don't want to hear these reasons to be concerned. Let's just enjoy the moment. Until a news leak starts going around about Liam Delap going to United, or Brian and Buemo being close to being done for Manchester United, or Florian Wirtz, or yada, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden it's up for crying. The same people saying, for God's sake, this club always asleep at the wheel. To which I would reply, can't we just enjoy this moment? Can't we spend the whole summer just bathing in the glory of what happened last season. I think, like, people they want their cake and eat it. They want to be able to enjoy the moment when they don't want to hear the reasons why Ange might not be the good guy because they've made up their mind that he is, and they're doing this. La, 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 la. But as soon as a little bit of story comes out that maybe we're missing out on a player or two because we're too busy being hungover, suddenly Daniel Levy's back in the spotlight being a bozo. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I'm just saying everybody needs to now be going, that was then, this is now, let's get on with it. And get Liam Delap's phone number, get his agent, and have a conversation. Because that guy's better than Richarlison. That guy is miles better than Richarlison. I think he's better than Solanke. Put him in a team. He's brilliant with the ball. He's brilliant defensively, aerially. He's a beast. He's a strong, muscular lad. Someone put in a comment just a minute ago saying, sure, I think it was the first one. Let's get some real men into our team. We need some real steel, mate. Well, there you go. There's Liam Delap. You don't win a header against Liam Delap. And for what it's worth, he's also got an incredible turn of pace on him. He's got incredible acceleration for a big lad. He can dribble and he can ping it from a distance. £30 million. £30 million. You know, if he goes to Chelsea or United, I think he'll score. If he goes to a team that is mid-table or above next season, he will score 20 goals. 100%. In fact, that's the very first thing I do when he signs for, or whoever he signs for, to be entirely honest. I'm going to put a bet on him to be a 20-goal man because he's that good. And £30 million is sweet FA. Let's see. I've got so much more to chat about. I just wanted to get that out of the way. Let's start the game, start the show by saying, hello, Mr. Weaverman. One, good to see you. Luke THFC, good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Evening, says Michael Watts. Good evening to wherever you are in the world. I'm guessing that means you're over in Australia, mate. Morning, Johnny boy. ADIG, wish we could get him Buemo. Yeah, they're going to talk about him as well. 50 million quid. Honestly, 80 million quid, right? In fact, let's throw Eze in there. £140 million. And you get Delap, Buemo, and Eze dominating. That's suddenly, for me, especially when you then, on the back of that, also have, say, Solanke, some young players in like Odebear, Maddison knocking around. You've suddenly got one of the best front lines in the game. And I think right now, we've currently got one of the weakest front lines in the game. But £140 million sorts you out forever. Forever. And I'm like, how much did we spend on Solanke and Richarlison? 130. So £10 million more. And you've got three players, all of whom are better than those two. When opportunity knocks, someone bloody answer the door. Romano said, Man, you can make signings only if they sell, so nothing is set yet. Yeah, and that's fair. That is fair. Anyone would think that Man United have won the Europa League. The moves they're making early doors. I know 3 for all. I know, mate. Go get me Cherky, Matoma, and Dougie Luiz, please. Rumours out about Dougie Luiz yesterday. Did you see them? Dougie Luiz to Tottenham. It might be on. We'll talk about that in a little while. Cherky, yeah. Would love to see Cherky come in. He's a real deal baller, and he's 21 years old. He doesn't have the experience in the Premier League, but for sure he is a player that I think is terrifying. Terrifying. You wouldn't want to be a fullback. And you know what I was saying before, right? If you go and get the six that can do all the things that a 6 needs to do, right? Sniff out the threat. Don't worry so much about the opportunity, but then do the switch play, the switcheroo, bang it into the channels. And if you then have a guy on the right, like a Cherky, and if you have a guy on the left, like an Eze, for example, and then you got Madders in the 10, and let's say Jonathan David in the 9, right? Let's just hypothetical. When you win the ball back in the transition in that 6, and you will do with a Cardoso, with a Samuel Ricky, with a Dougie Luiz, let's start with a Dougie Luiz. He's not that sort of player, but you can put Luiz in the 8 and let him compete and sell Bentancur. I mean, we're playing Football Manager here, but that's the fun part of the summer, right? We can do Football Manager all day long, all night long, all night long. I think that you then have the ability to switch that play, put it in with a guy who can get it to where it needs to be 9 times out of 10. And ladies and gentlemen, what you then have is a guy in Cherki and a guy in Eze who ain't no fullback want to take on by themselves. No fullbacks will want that. I'm looking at the fullbacks in the Premier League. Most of the big teams have fullbacks that are weaker at defending than they are at attacking. And so the idea of having a Cherki running at you, well, you know what's going to be happening? That fullback on the left-hand side is going to be going, fucking come over, help, 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 help. Be doing bicep curls with his right arm asking for help. And then over comes either the 6 or the centre-back, the left-sided centre-back. And if that happens, cool. Then all you got to do is put it back to Porro, whips the ball in, and you've got space for a Jonathan David or a Liam Delap in the air to win that ball. Less people in the box, more chance to make a run and jump on them. Or you slide it into Maddison, and he's got space to work, do his little trickery. Or if the left back does fancy himself as a one-on-one specialist, he stays where he is. I don't think many people are going to have a lot of fun taking on Ryan or trying to defend against Cherki. Staying with Eze on the left. If you have 2 threats, multiple threat front, that take on specialists that can cut in or can go on the outside, that have the cadence, the step overs, the sort of the Perisic thing, drink a shot if we're playing Shawnee Bingo, Shawnee Phrase Bingo, right? Then you've got like a terrifying setup that no team is going to know exactly what way you're going to go. And even if some of them are injured, you've got other players that can come in that can do a good job too. Right? There's no shame in Solanke being on the pitch. I love Solanke. I think he's a workhorse, different type of player than Liam Delap, but equally valuable in certain circumstances. Eze on the left. Matisse Tell, it looks like there's news out. It looks like that there's a deal that's going to be struck there. And I think for all intents and purposes, unless these players are just saying what they're saying at the end of the season, not knowing their future, then it kind of feels to me like we are going to make a move for Matisse Tell. And whilst I see there's massive value in Matisse Tell, obviously, you know, there's levels to the game. And if you can go and get an Eze, then that changes things. Is there room for a Matisse Tell and a Sonny and a Mikey Moore, all the players we currently have, and also an Eze and a Matisse Tell? I'm not sure. But we'll find out. Let's carry on with the chat. Let's go and see what the chat is saying. Anyone would think that we've done that one already. Go get me Cherki. We've done that one. It just tells you what Levy's mindset is, Sean. I don't know, mate. Well, it's too. I hope not. I really hope not. But look, Ange's gone off on holiday, and the fact that he hasn't, the fact that there's no noise about it. I don't know. It feels to me. Oh, what's in that? It's the sweetest lemon I've ever had in my life. It feels to me that he's probably going to stay. He's probably going to stay because if you wanted to have got rid of him, you would have got rid of him yesterday before he went away or at the end of the season. Why would you let him go away and then come back just to sack him then? And the fact that the club haven't made their mind up is really odd. Again, it reeks of amateur hour. If I'm entirely honest, I'm unimpressed. Like if they've made their mind up that he is staying and we just don't know about it, it's not official, and all we're doing is just playing this kind of game of hypotheticals because we think that it's a closer decision than the club do. Then so be it, right? Like I said before, I don't personally rate Ange. Once I've gone through the Overton window and I've seen the other side of the BS, then I don't fancy it anymore. However, I've said a million times, I'll always support the logic of a consistent narrative. And if they decide to give it to him based on the merit, then I think it's fair enough. It's not what I would do, but it's fair enough, right? It's fair enough. And so maybe we're all just like playing this game of like, why don't we know whether he's staying yet? Because the media have made out like it's on a knife edge. But maybe in Daniel Levy's mind, Daniel Levy's like, nah, you're here next year. And therefore, why do we need to have that kind of confirmed? Like you don't hear, I don't know, Liverpool don't need to confirm that Arne Slot's going to be the manager next season, do they? So maybe the lack of confirmation is in and of itself a confirmation, right? So I don't know. But either way, Ange doesn't need to be in London. He could be in Greece or wherever he's gone, and Tottenham can be getting on with some biz. But again, the fact that Paratici, and we're assuming that Paratici's coming back. I think it's done. I think he is, but there's no noise about it. Big up Sean and chat, says Tony. United gambling as they need to sell players and Rashford isn't going to Villa now. Villa can't afford anyone, mate. Villa are in trouble. You'd love to see it. I feel for the fans, but not for the club. Dirty bastards. Aniconic Arden wasn't Ange's sixth choice. I'm not sure, mate. I can't remember really. Was he sixth choice? We didn't really know, did we? I know that Nuno was like fifth choice because we were going to be given Ivan Gattuso, and we were going to be given who was the other guy's name? I can't remember, to be honest. Cringe, says Adig. What have I cringed? What have I said that's cringy? Morning, Sean. Kernau Yid. Good to see you. He is, though. Who is, though? Here's the question. If Ange's still here, can people put aside their biases and just everyone get behind him and play us for one more? 100%. I will. But that doesn't mean that when I hear him say things that I'm not going to sit there and analyze them, because that's what you do as a fan channel, right? You look for things to talk about and you chew it over with your comrades in the chat. And as I say, I personally feel like Ange talks out of both sides of his mouth, and I think there is an overwhelming body of evidence to support that. But and as I said, I think if the main element of your skill set, your competence level, is words and the ability to invoke a reaction and be that poet and that innovator and that inspirational catalyst before a big game, of which I take nothing away from him. He's incredible. But if that is your A+ part of your armory, then once I've seen through it and I start to go, well, you just say whatever you need to say. Like you just say, and then try and pretend like you didn't say the other things that didn't come true. Then once you see through that, you kind of lose the, like, how do you say it? The shine has come off, right? The shine has come off the statue. Delap or tell? Delap all day long. Let me reword it. Let me reword it. Any manager, including Ange. You reword what? Can we put their biases in it? Everyone. Yeah. Whoever comes in. I listen. Listen, I never want anything other than Tottenham to succeed, 100%. And I'm not someone that comes in and says, I told you so when I get the opportunity to, because if I had done, I would have said, if I had been that sort of guy, I would have done that about Daniel Levy for the last week. But I haven't mentioned Daniel Levy, have I? We need to get our ducks in a row quickly. We need to know now about Ange, and we need to be making phone calls because we ain't going to push on, Simon. Yeah, 100%. I won't bore you with the backstory, but to see and hear you who backed Ange and took the heat, but now can clearly see that his time is done. Love the fingers in the ears gig. I won't bore you with the backstory, but to see and hear you who backed Ange and took the heat, but now can clearly see that his time is done. I don't think it is done, mate. I don't think it is done. I hope we get Mbuemo. Same. I'd love him. But look, Mbuemo, Cherky, those two would be superb. Xavi Simons, it doesn't have to be Mbuemo. But if we lose out to Manchester United, if Mbuemo goes to Manchester United, then we better have someone else coming in, because 50 bar for a player of his talent is value. And Daniel Levy is always looking for value. He said, we have to buy players that are affordable, that are sustainable. We can only work with the money that we have. All that stuff. There's an instant improvement right there to our squad for less money than you paid for Brennan Johnson. Let that sink in. And Mbuemo is a monster. And relatively, Johnson is I don't know. He's not a monster. He's a monster of back post merchantry. Gold Buffalo. Morning, Sean. Words of wisdom. I don't know what I said, mate. I'm a few minutes behind. I'm about 10 minutes behind. I'm going to catch up. I just woke up. Guess what? Still champs. Yeah, Nicky boy. You're off to work early, mate. What time is it over there? It's like 4 o'clock in the morning or something? Yeah, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Madman. Modric available on a free. Delap, it's a no-brainer. 100% Giovanni. Good to see you, mate. Is that the Giovanni I met in the stadium? think it is. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're okay. Spurs should hijack all of Man United's plans. Well, not all of them, eh? Let's not hijack the plan to come 16th and to lose the final. Kolo Muani, Shirky, Polinia, Inacio, 150 bar. Kolo Muani's not coming to Tottenham anymore, is he? He already turned us down once. Excuse me 1 second, guys. I just got to... I have chronic rhinitis, and I'm always got like a runny nose. It drives me up the wall. What is the room about Messi? I don't know. Is there a rumor about Messi? Let's have a look. Messi, Tottenham. No way. Don't be silly. There we go. Lionel Messi reacts to wild Tottenham scenes. Lionel Messi was privy. Let's get this up. I'll show you. Wowzers. Imagine that. Hang about. Let's get it up. Get it up. Pause. Okay. What are we doing? Lionel Messi was privy to wild scenes surrounding Tottenham's UEFA League victory. From the final whistle in Bilbao to the aftermath at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Spurs Europa League drama has been discussed. Spurs have defied all odds. Yes. Here we go. Messi now playing his football in America has often spoken of his admiration for his compatriot Romero. The Barcelona legend is not the only one to admire. Get on with the... Here we go. Oh, is that it? What? Oh, is that what we're doing now? Tottenham Hotspur news. And by the way, not just you. Let's go back. Goal.com has put an article about it. Even Lionel Met Spurs Web. Football London. Fucking hell. It's a dry time of year. Dry time of year if you are literally putting out an article because Lionel Messi hit the like button. Speaking of hitting the like button, you frauds, smash the like button. There's 400 people here, give or take. And I don't think the like buttons are up where they should be. They never are. Smash the like button. Let's get going. Do what Lionel did. Smash the like. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. And all that jazz. That is the most ludicrous sidestep. Where did I get to in this list? What's all the rumours about Nerf Boy? Nerf Boy, you've just wasted 2 minutes of my life. Never get that back. Chirky, cheap, or expensive? Chirky, cheap. Chirky's cheap. Chirky's cheap too. Hugo Ekitiki looks like the next Isaac. Yeah, mate, he's a baller. He's a baller. But he's going to cost you like 80 million quid, you know? What's his name doesn't... they don't need to sell. And stay there 1 second, guys. We're back in just literally 5 seconds. Sorry about that. Let's get my handkerchief. What was I saying? Yeah, I mean, the team in Germany. Why is my mind not working yet? None of the alcohol. That's why. The team that he plays for that we beat in the quarterfinals. Why can't my mind work? They have just sold Omar. They sold Omar Mamouche in January, didn't they, for 85 million? So they don't need to sell their next big thing as well, unless it was big money. So I very much doubt he's going anywhere. But a cracking player. Where is Osman going this summer? Do we want that guy? I'm not sure we do. Maybe we do. I mean, he's a great player, but he's moody as hell. He's got a right attitude on him. And, you know, I know he was a victim of some bad racism, wasn't he, in Italy? So, would you be surprised if Ange's contract is extended? You know, let's just get through this year first, shall we? If that's, I'm not sure. Wow, Lionel Richie just woke me up. You're welcome. Morning all. Morning, Rain Man. Great Lionel Richie, Adrian. Appreciate that. Messi for season, why not? Romero surely can have an influence on getting Messi. Come on now. should send more on loan to the Championship or promoted side. Apparently, I've got a story here about Micky Moore. Apparently, he's going to get a new contract in August. And he's happy to. He's just signed up with his new agents. He's going to get a new extension on his deal. So anyone that was having any fears about Micky Moore leaving, that doesn't look like it is on the cards. Let me get some of these stories up for you guys. Here we go. Let's go through some stories. I'll catch back up with the chat in a minute. Here's a story for you. Matisse Tell upgrade. Spurs ready £38 million offer to sign unstoppable star. What could have been a bleak something? You know what? I'm going to skip through the first two paragraphs of all this shit. The last few weeks have been Spurs linked with a multitude of brilliant talent. Of attacking players such as Jamie Gittins, yes please, and Dyson Maeda, no thank you. The former is supposedly available for around 59 million and has enjoyed a relatively successful season with Borussia Dortmund this year, scoring 12 goals and providing 5 assists in 48 games. Maeda has been even more effective north of the border, scoring 33 goals and providing 12 assists in 51. Yep, incredible. And he's available for 25 million quid. Yeah, but is Dyson Maeda really going to get any of your juices going? I would imagine not. Let me know in the chat. 1 for Maeda, 2 for no. What am I doing here? It looks like Daniel Levy and co. could be shopping closer to home for a new attacker this summer. According to a recent report from Spain, Spurs are now incredibly interested in Chelsea's Christopher Nkunku. I'll give this one a wah-wah. It's not happening. The reports claim that the Frenchman's departure from Stamford Bridge is virtually assured and that the North Londoners are now prepared to negotiate a loan deal with an option to buy at £45 million, which is just €38 million, 45 million euros. It might not be the most popular transfer right away, but Nkunku was a force of nature at RB Leipzig. So the first thing is first, Chelsea Ace is someone who can and often does play across all the front line. So should Levy and co. not sign the buying line? I don't know why I'm reading this, right? We don't deal with Chelsea. We just don't deal with Chelsea. It's not going to happen. Do I like Christopher Nkunku? Well, as the article suggests, right? He was a baller at Leipzig, but then most players at Leipzig look like they are sensational. And many of them are, but some of them are not. The Premier League is a different beast. The pace of the game is like no other. You need, if you're going to go and like take punts on players from lower leagues, and no disrespect, I actually like the Bundesliga. I think it's a lot of fun to watch the Bundesliga. The games are usually belters, but the pace is different. So what you need are players that don't just have physical like speed. Like when I'm talking about like the pace difference or the differential, I'm not talking about like fast players or acceleration, although that helps. I'm talking about speed of thought. Like you're going to have the ball when you're going to have half a second less when you receive the ball back to goal in the Premier League than you would do in Germany. And Nkunku for me hasn't necessarily got that half turn talent, or hasn't got it at the same rate as what you need in the Premier League. He's been injured though, and I know he had a horrific injury, so you don't know whether that's the reason why he hasn't kicked on and he'll get better. The Tottenham really want to get a player in. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. So let's just move on. If it does happen, I'll come back to it, but it's not going to happen. Was there any other part to that article? Let me just double check. By the way, I feel like I am also coming around to the idea that Matisse Tell, I do like the player. I very much do like him, but I think that depending on, what I worry about is why are we slow to react to some of these other things that are happening because there's this sort of idea that Matisse Tell is staying, right? And I'm going to come back to that in a second. Let's pivot to what Ange Postecoglou said around question marks over his future. We'll come back to it. My gut feeling is I feel right now that I've done something that no one else believed I could, and I should be sitting here, and I shouldn't be sitting here talking about my future. Says the man who always finds a way to be right. That's my feeling, but it is what it is. We said on Sunday, I just want to go on a break and enjoy my family and reflect on being part of something unbelievably special. Unbelievably special. I've been fortunate to be in this position a number of times, but seeing those scenes Friday and people have reached out and talked to me about how it has affected them, what has happened over the last couple of days, it's a beautiful thing, and I just want to enjoy that. To be honest, the rest of it, I don't even want to be talking about it. I just think it's unnecessary. He added, you're right to ask the question, but you're asking the person who can't give you that answer. And I guess even for you guys, you wouldn't be asking if there wasn't a doubt, right? But I can't answer it. There is nothing I can say that will answer that question. Other people can. So from my perspective, it doesn't diminish the achievement. Like I said, I am so confident about what we can build at this football club, and I want to push on and take it to the next level. We'll see whether that happens. Yeah, I'm moving on from that one. Let's cancel that tab. Spurs to take on Newcastle as part of. Oh, hang on, I've lost my screen share. Let's pop back to the chat for a minute to see what the chat's saying. 415 people here, guys. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. What did we get to on that ones and twos game? What was even the question about 1 and 2? I forget. Was it about Nkunku? Or was it about someone else? Can't remember what I asked you now. I need some alcohol. I haven't got any. I never drink before 11:21. Morning, Eltel. Good to see you, buddy. How you doing? We're very early. Good morning to you, Nick. You've been kicked out of bed. Number one indicator of whether you're going to kick on now will be the willingness to raise our wage structure. Yeah, we have to. We have to. Sean singing Lionel Richie, Lionel Messi, all written in the stars. It's happening. It's done. It's done. First Roy Keane, now Messi. They're all coming over. Rats leaving a sinking ship. They're all coming over to the Tottenham way. We love to see it. Would you take Garnacho? No. No, thank you. Geezer says he's not happy with his role at Manchester United. Not happy with his game time. Played 58 games for Man United this season, the ungrateful little shit. What are we doing here? I fucking hate players who that's what I was saying this season. It wound me up, right? It wound me up when Kulusevski did it, and I love Kulu. It wound me up when Maddison did it, and I don't mind Maddison. I think he's funny. He's definitely a cocky little prick, but when all these people say, like, when they're asked about the team performance and their own individual contributions, they all seem to find a way to make out like their effort is unquestionable, but the team aren't doing enough, which is basically saying I'm carrying us, and yeah. And I think that, Garnacho is a similar kind of vibe. Would love Xavi Simmons, says Aiden. 100% Xavi. 100% Aiden. Couldn't agree more. Typical Spurs fan base. Messi likes Romero's post on Insta, and now he's signing. The fact that some serious journalists there have gone out and written an article about it, or at least some serious publications. So Ange felt it was fine to criticise Spurs fans who didn't want us to beat City and help Arsenal, but he's okay with sacking off the Premier League completely since Jan. Wow, Rain. Do you know what, mate? I had that. I'm gonna add that to my list of rationales. I was listening. I told them they didn't listen. Yeah, I listened, bro. I think Rain Man listened to something else because I didn't remember that one, bro. I need to write that one down. I'm going to star that comment. That's an excellent point. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Good point, mate. Good point. Well, comment of the day so far. There you go, guys. Up your standards. You got to compete with Rain Man's comment of the day. Where do we get to? Seen a few defenses stop him. Who are we talking about? Don't know. Rain, winning a trophy is winning things. What the hell are you going on about? Come on now. Consistency is what we're going on about. Consistency. When Ange said he was going to win a trophy in his second year, they didn't listen. Well, you also said we were going to have a title challenge in our second year, but I haven't heard you mention that one for a while, since about September, when we started to just. Ange can still play a high press, just need to see a moderation. This is why I don't look at transfer stories until the player's actually through the door. Unfortunately, bald bean counter, I don't have that luxury. I want to bring you transfer stories every day. Man United are supposed to be skint, yet they signed Cunha and apparently Mbeumo is going there. I thought they were the ones with the Champions League football. Champions League, we're having a laugh. We're having a bath at the moment, it seems like. We're not ready for work. Not having a go at you, dude, just hitting things from a different angle. You are right. He said he wants to win, and he did. Sometimes you need to shift. For me, he made the right choice. Send Mikey to West Brom with Money Mace for season, with Ryan Money Mace for season 2. For a season or two. Yeah, I don't know if Mikey Moore's ready yet. But look, he's signing a new contract, so there's no disgrace in not being ready at 17, by the way. No disgrace. People would feel like because he's one of our own and he's the greatest thing since Harry Kane, that, he has to be ready immediately and he has to be given minutes. You got to earn it, bro. If you're deemed good enough, then you are old enough. But if you are deemed good enough, then you have to be compared to the other options within the squad, regardless of their age, to figure out whether or not you are going to add more value than them. And I would make the argument that most times this season, Mikey Moore has proven to be not quite ready yet. But that's just my take. Is winning a major European trophy precedented in the ENIC era? No. Definitely not. Let's get Eze Cherky in a green. Oh, there you go. Mason Greenwood. Here's the one. Here's the one. Let me scoot forward here. Ones and zeros, people. Ones and zeros. Mason Greenwood. Lot of accusations. Lot of evidence, somewhat, that the allegations were supported by, that were then withdrawn by a person who made them. Man United kicked him out. He went off to, where did he go? To France. And he smashed it. I think he got like the second most assists or goal contributions behind Ousmane Dembele. And but apparently he's not welcome there. He's pissed off people. The French fans think he doesn't work hard enough. And he's had some arguments in the dressing room and stuff. But he wants to come back to the Premier League. Now, look, this is a moral question, isn't it? Because the talent is for sure there. He's a very talented player. Anyone, all I can see, zeros and ones, right? One is, don't mind Mason Greenwood. He hasn't committed a crime, at least officially. There you go. I haven't got to put the zero in. Everyone's saying zero. No wife beaters. Oh, Adam Levitt's willing. Adam Levitt is saying, leave it alone. Forget about it. Let's move on. No wife beaters. Zero for Chris. No to Greenwood. No to the hell no. No, I don't want bad atmosphere. No way. Jesus Christ. It's crazy. Okay. Yeah, I probably would. I would find it incredibly problematic to have him there for sure. So, Arsenal's men's team have won a trophy since 2020. We won a trophy before then. I'm not sure what you're saying there, mate. Vlahovic has agreed personal terms to join Forest. Fucking hell. Really? I tell you what, Forest have got some balls on them, haven't they? Fair play, Nottingham Forest. I tell you what, Nottingham Forest might just be. I know they're playing. I think they're only playing in the Conference League now. Vlahovic is going to Forest. Really? I'll check that one out. That's a wildly. How much are they paying for him? Vlahovic Forest. Let's have a look. £25 million. Hang on, let me get my most recent news update. Let's go past 24 hours. Juventus striker Jusevic is reportedly preparing to leave Italian club during the upcoming transfer window. What are we doing here? Newcastle, Arsenal, Forest and Chelsea are linked with the Serbian international. However, it's understood that Vlahovic's salary demands could present a challenge for some of the interested parties. It doesn't say that he's agreed. Maybe that's on Twitter. I haven't got Twitter on my computer. That's interesting, Sean, though. Interesting, mate. Thank you for the update. Greenwood can play with Partey at Arsenal. Seems suitable. Vlahovic is end of contract, 20 million or something, says Caveman. Hello, Caveman. I haven't seen you for ages. How you doing, boss? Dusan Vlahovic to... That's an interesting... So what, they're going to sunset Chris Wood and move into Dusan Vlahovic territory? I tell you what, that's a fucking hell of a signing for them for 20 million quid. I don't know how they're going to be able to afford the wages, though. I don't know how that's going to work. Let's see if I can find something else on this one. I've got a load more stories for us, guys. Don't worry about that. Let's just have a quick look-see. Ba-dum-bum-bum. What are we doing now? No, I can't find anything more on that. Spurs are taking on Newcastle. New story for you guys. Let's get this one up for us. Pause. Where's my list? Where's my fucking list? Here we go. Is it up on the screen? Spurs to take on Newcastle, part of Asia pre-season tour. What's the story saying then? What are we doing? Where are we going here? Tottenham Hotspur's 25 campaign has ended, but already we are turning our eyes to next season with the club announcing another pre-season fixture. We'll face Newcastle United in Korea this summer as part of the 25 Kupang Play series. The details on the date, venue, ticket, and match will be announced in due course. Superb. The match against Newcastle aside, a bizarre North London derby was announced back in March, and Spurs also have an August match lined up against Bundesliga champions and Harry Kane's retirement home, Bayern Munich. Then there's the small matter of the UEFA Super Cup, in which Spurs will take on the winner of the Champions League, one of Inter Milan or PSG. Have you guys heard we're also playing in some other? It's called CONMEBOL or something. CONMEBOL. It's the winner of the equivalent of the Europa League in South America. So it might be 3 trophies. Might be three trophies. And they count. Listen, if Arsenal count the fucking Intercity Fairs Cup from 75 or whatever it was, which was an invite-only tournament of cities on some sort of like United Nations round tour or world tour, then we're going to count the CONMEBOL if we get it, when we get it. Only positive vibes. Next story. It's an interesting one. We're going back to our youth system for a minute. Ready for this one, boys and girls? 20-goal Tottenham Hotspur Academy graduate gives definitive answers on future amid Leeds United and Wolves links. The 23-year-old left North London last year. Oh, no, this isn't this side. This is a different story. This is about Troy Parrott. Having failed to make a first team, he sought pastures new in the Netherlands with AZ Alkmaar and has sent his stock soaring with a goal-laden campaign. The Republic of Ireland International delivered a 20-goal haul, fueling talk of interest from Leeds and Wolverhampton Wanderers. However, Parrott has made it clear he wants to remain on the books of AF at the AFAS Stadion. Speaking to AZ officials TV channel, whatever happens, it's not going to be my decision. If someone was to ask me right now, I would say I want to stay. I have had the best year of my life so far in football here. I loved every second of it. The achievements of the group haven't been what I wanted, given the position we were in. But in terms of the team and the staff that I have come to know, I loved every second of it in my mind. Congratulations to him, by the way. I always just think, imagine when he finally learns like Dutch, and if he stays there his whole career, and he'll turn on that Dutch, star like that sort of that kind of spiel. Then imagine that mixed in with an Irish twang. It'd be absolutely phenomenal to hear that. It'd be absolutely phenomenal. Here's a story from Joe Williams from Football 365. Let's get this one for you going. Postecoglou won't be in charge in August, he says, as Tottenham will learn from the Man United mistake. Ange Postecoglou won't start next season as the Tottenham manager, with Richard Keys convinced that Daniel Levy's silence is damning. Postecoglou has been under pressure for most of the season, with Spurs finishing the campaign 17th in the Premier League after a 4-1 defeat to Brighton on Sunday. The Tottenham board have been sympathetic to his cause earlier in the campaign, with Spurs suffering an incredible amount of injuries that decimated Postecoglou's squad. However, the negative results will get to the thing. And former Sky Sports presenter Richard Keys insists that Tottenham won't make the same mistake that Sir Jim Ratcliffe did with Eric Ten Hag. Keys wrote in his blog, Daniel Levy's silence is damning. Ange won't be in charge in August, nor should he be. I backed him for a long time this season, and he did really well delivering a trophy. But those who want him out were right, and they'll get their way, I'm sure. See, I'm kind of on this part of it. That's kind of how I feel. I backed him for the long time this season, and he did do very well delivering a trophy. But those that want him out are right. I'm just not sure about this bit. And I said why yesterday. He says Levy won't make the same mistake that the Jim Reaper and the Brains Trust did. The Jim Reaper. Wow. With Ten Hag. Here we go. Lee Sharp said, I can see Ange Postecoglou managing another Premier League club. I think he's a great fit for the England's top division. His personality and fast tempo football are perfectly suited to the league. He's been very honest and basic in his approach. He has a clear picture of what he wants his players and the team to do, apart from when it matters, Mr. Sharp. When Spurs are fully fit, I think they're a really strong match for anyone. They can be deadly around the opposition's box when they're firing on all cylinders. They've struggled defensively at times, but I think that's down to their own two main centre-halves being injured for so long. Yeah. This notion that when we're fully fit, we're a match for anyone. When is any team entirely fully fit, especially at Tottenham? And you have to ask the question, why do we have so many fucking injuries? Some of that, according to some arguments, are down to Ange Postecoglou. According to Ange, it's not his fault. Nothing's ever Ange's fault. Some argue that Ange only has one game plan to play the full throttle for 90 minutes. And we have seen them get caught out in the process. But I like to watch his team. They're always quick. Cool, you like to watch it. Great. What are we doing here? Entertainment? Well, to be fair, I always wanted entertainment first. So maybe I'm a flip-flop. Probably. Anyway, Richard Keys is saying he thinks he's gone. Sharp says he's probably going to stay. Probably going to go to another Premier League club. I just think that I made the argument earlier. I just think that like Daniel Levy's silence is damning. I don't necessarily know. Does Daniel Levy have to come out and confirm the guy's stay? Maybe Daniel Levy is just like, the guy won us a cup, right? The guy won us a European trophy. Of course he's going to stay. There was rumours out in the IT cat. Some donut on Twitter put out a tweet saying, and someone else retweeted it. I think it was his own soccer account that retweeted it saying, this guy's a tier one. I've never heard this bloke before. I spent all day long looking at sources on Twitter. And then the argument was that this guy said that he's never been wrong and that he was the first one to call the Berghvall injury news. And the story that he put out was that there was a dinner between Sonny, Ange, and Levy, and that Ange was the first one to leave, and he wasn't. And Levy said he wasn't happy. He was very unhappy with the league performance, but there was no more details. There's other news out today from I think it's Ali Gold that said there has been no meetings. So the guy who says he's never wrong, he's never been wrong. Well, Ali Gold's probably closer to the calendar of Daniel Levy than some geezer with 400 followers on Twitter. Anyway, where did we get to? Is that the story I've just done? Postecoglou won't be in charge in August. Yeah, I've done that one. Right, let me press pause for a minute on the update. So we've got another 10 to go, guys. So we're still going to be piling through. We're still piling through. But let's go back and say hello to people, see where we're at to. YouTube ads getting in my way. Let me on the stream. Hello, Sean. Hello, Simo. I don't know you, mate. I don't know you. I'm going to do a fan phone-in show, like a free for all, maybe tomorrow. And if you want to come on then, and then introduce yourself. And if you smash it out of the park, then I'll get your number and we can put you into the mix, mate. Put you into the mix. But I don't just have people on randomly unless I know them. All teams have injuries. Crocodile tears. 100%. 100%. Has Vlahovic been any good for Juve? He's been all right. I think he's got like a 1 in 3 GA. 1 in 3.5. Not been spectacular for sure. I bought some 7-Ups today. There's something up with that 7-Up. It's 7 down. It's like the weirdest flavour. I'm not sure I want to drink any more of that. Which means I might have to run downstairs and get myself a change of drink in a few minutes. So if I do, I'll put some little elevator music for you. And just put up the beep. I'll be right back sign. So don't go anywhere. Don't leave me. Please don't leave me. I've got abandonment issues. Keep dreaming, Farhan. What does Farhan say? Richalison Vlahovic swap says Canal Yid. That's never going to happen. Richarlison's not going to Italy. He wouldn't suit that model, I don't think. Would he? Maybe he would. Nah, he wouldn't. He's too technical. He's not technical enough. He can't trap a bag of cement. Not sort of his sort of place. Drink some water. I got my water here, buddy. I got my water here. I drink 2 of these every day. How many teams had 9 to 12 players out for weeks and only on the second year rebuild? Look, it's fair. It's a fair comment. It's a fair comment. I didn't mean physically on the stream, Sean. I just want to watch, bro. Oh. Well, you're back. And I hope you never leave. I hope you never leave. Get cider, mate. Mate, Scotty, they've run out of ciders down my local co-op, mate. I don't know what's going on. I'll tell you what else is going on. Let me know if you're seeing this in your local neighborhood, wherever you are, even if you're not in England. I want to know if this is a global trend, wherever you're watching this from. In my general area here, in the last 2 months, I must have seen about a 1,000% increase in the amount of for sale signs going up outside people's houses. It feels to me like there's a lot of people are possibly worried about their finances and are having to force move, downsize, get out of town, whatever. I just feel like there is an economic shift that's coming. And I think that people you can tell it's a very early indicator of a future downtrend when people are whacking up for sale signs everywhere. I'm drinking a Stella. I don't give a hell what time it is. Good boy, Stuart. Good boy, bro. Good boy. It's 20 to 5 somewhere. 7-Up is far too sweet. You. Bro, it's facts, especially in Surrey, mate. It's everywhere, bro. It's everywhere. Jack Pothecory. What that name? Everywhere in Surrey, mate. There's hundreds of them. Time of year on house sales, Sean. Before the summer, people like to get houses before school year starts. Yeah, but this is maybe. But this isn't like this is. I'm not talking about in the last month. I'm talking about since maybe January time it started happening, and now I just feel like it's just everywhere I look. There's just fucking the sale signs everywhere. Everywhere. Where do I get to? Sean, I'd like to join you on a panel or just a transfer show. Yeah, Matt. Look, just come on to one of the fan phoning shows first, mate, so I can meet you. That's all. That's the kind of process. Bin that 7-Up, Sean. Sprite is your money soda. I like Sprite. I do like Sprite. They don't sell it in my local co-op. Right, let's get back to the story, shall we? Where do we get to? We've done the Newcastle story. We've done the story about what's his name, Troy Parrott. We've done the Newcastle story. It's the second version of that. Here we go. Here's one for us. Here's one for the dreamers. This is an opinion piece rather than an actual story, but it's not something we don't mind talking about it for a minute. Can Tottenham steal Victor Gyökeres from under Arteta's nose? Asks Janil Shah, published 6 seconds ago. Don't tell you I don't bring the freshest news first. This is from tothethaneandback.com, that well-known article hub. Essentially, he's just like, I'm bored, I'll put something out there. Arsenal want him, United want him, Chelsea want him, but there's one club nobody's talking about loudly enough with respect to links with Gyökeres, and that is Tottenham Hotspur. The North Londoners have had a Europa League triumph, and Postecoglou is now re-inspired to take this side to new heights, which makes the Swede not just a player that piques Daniel Levy's interest, but also someone who is more of a logical solution towards where this side needs to evolve. But with Arsenal clinging on towards securing his signature and other big clubs keeping an eye out on me. With other big clubs keeping an eye out on me. Is this secretly been written by Gyökeres? A little slip of the fingers, was it there, Mr. Gyökeres? Are you trying to pretend like you are really Janil Shah? Is that what we're doing here? I don't mind. You know what? I could easily put out an article about that myself. Gyökeres slips up. Gyökeres to Tottenham, a SWOT analysis. Strengths. Oh, you know what? Are we doing this? I'm not sure we can do this. Let me just ask the question. Let's just ask the question. Anyone fancy Victor Gyökeres, and anyone think that if Tottenham were to stump up the cashish and pay the wages, would it be enough? Do you think he could come? Arsenal prefer Sesko. I think Arsenal don't prefer Sesko. I think Arsenal want Gyökeres. But it would be hilarious, wouldn't it? Just to go, we got the trophy, and now we're getting your boy. AI probably writes most of this shit anyway. 100% PH. Mr. Neutral. When is Harry Kane coming back? Next January, apparently. We can buy him for 50 million or something, can't we? Well, that's what someone said that. Someone, was it Johnny that said? I think it was Johnny that said there's some guy that he knows who, some mate of his or some mate of a mate or whatever, that made some bold claim about something and then everyone laughed at him and then it happened. I think it was about Gareth Bale coming back from memory. And then that same guy said Harry Kane will come back January 2026 or January 27, which is 18 months away. But I don't think he'll come back. I'd love it, though. If Harry Kane was to come back, I'd absolutely love it. What's this story? Joe Cole says Tottenham have a fantastic character who really reminds him of Mark Noble. Who's the player? James Maddison. It's not really a story. I played with Maddison. He's a brilliant footballer, first and foremost, but a fantastic character. He's a great lad. Plus, the kids met him after the game once, and he's really good with the kids as well. Does he remind you of Nobes a little bit? Carlton Cole asked. Yeah, he does. Yeah. We love Nobes. He's a little bit like him. He's just a good person, good family person. Okay, boring story. Who cares about that? Here's a story for you, though. Matisse Tell may have already dropped Tottenham's summer transfer hint amid Ange Postecoglou claim. I saw this after the Tottenham final game of the season when he was interviewed on the pitch on Tottenham's trophy success and the subsequent celebrations. Tell said it was incredible. It was crazy for the club, for the fans, for everybody else. I'm very happy about it. We did it. We deserve it. To be honest, I'm playing football to win trophies, so I believe in this team, in this club, and this is why we did it. I am very happy. I guess they're the kind of discussions that we need to start to have. But again, without myself gate-crashing meetings, I need to be invited to them, but we'll assess all those things. What's that about? Speaking on the eve of Tottenham's final game of the season against Brighton, Football London asked of Ange Postecoglou if he wanted to keep Tell at the club next season. Oh, here you go. I guess they're the kind of discussions that we need to have to the 59. We don't start to need to have. We should have fucking had them. But again, without myself gate-crashing meetings, I need to be invited to them. But we'll assess all those things. Matty's done really well for us. We put him in a real difficult position in that as a young player who hadn't played a lot, probably wasn't fit enough. We just threw him straight in, but he's handled it really well. I think he's been a real important contributor for us, and he'll definitely play tomorrow at some point, whether he starts or comes off the bench. I'm sure those decisions will kind of look into post-season. This is what pisses me off, guys. This pisses me off. Right? It's like, what? Why can that not happen? You know by now whether you want him or otherwise, right? You must know whether you want him or otherwise. Why do we always have to wait? Why is it we can't have like a gradual fade of thought processes? You're a £4 billion organisation. Manchester United are on their knees. They're on their knees, and they got the Cunha deal done. I'm sure that deal was probably structured and started, back in January. I'm sure it was started back in January. And yet we're sitting there kind of going, let's think about it later. It's madness. It's madness. It drives me up the wall. We've got a couple of super chats I haven't gone through. Oh, no, we've got one super chat. Here we go. Need to do business early. Sell Richie, Biss, and try to sign Mbeumo, Robinson, and Edison from Atalanta, and loan Archie. Can't see him as our main centre-back next season. I think we're going to sell more than that. Although, we've got to talk about Romero, right? Did you see that story last night? Let me see if I can read it out to you. The Romero tweet last night was hang on, where is it? Bear with me. There you go. We achieved what we wanted this season as a group, and that's what matters. And my name is part of the history of this beautiful club, Tottenham. I want to thank you all for the love and support every day, despite everything. But I have no doubt that staying together led us to success. We must continue. This is the path. That's what Romero said in an Instagram tweet. That's what he said. He said, we must continue. This is the path. Does that change everything? Does that change everything for you lot? Romero, I was like, the guy doesn't want to be here. He's twerking for Madrid, Atletico Madrid. That to me, he's staying. We must continue. This is the path. Unless he's saying like we as in Tottenham, this is the path for Tottenham. I'm still out of here. Thanks for everything. But like, I read that as like he wants to stay. And if he wants to stay, then we can forget about that bozo Mark Gahey, who, you know, I don't feel the same way as the rest of the world does about him. I think he's got a bozo gene in him. But words are cheap, Reptile Keeper. Words are very cheap. Please, God, let him stay. Romero stays if Ange stays. Romero's staying. You're bang on, Shawnee. It's the lack of communication, the arrogance of fans and the little guys. I don't need to bother communicating anything with you. Even if they don't know, just tell us that. Romero hasn't had his heart in it all season. He's doing a flip-flop now. Yeah. It does suggest he's staying. It does suggest he's staying. But he will be injured for 50% of the season again. He will be. 100%. So what do you do then, right? So, like... Hang on. That's libelous from yesterday. Maybe it's not the drink. Maybe it's my throat that's not enjoying it. Just tell us what's happening, Shawnee. I don't know what's happening, mate. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Tell needs to go. Real quality with experience is more important next season. I'm with you. We need a top central defender, whether Romero stays or goes. Both Romero and Van der Ven are injury prone. Yeah, but with that, where do you make the space? Let's just for a second contemplate how many central defenders we've got. Romero, Van der Ven, Danzo, Dragusin. You can't sell Dragusin. He's injured and he'll be out for a long time. Vuskovic, Phillips. It's Dorrington. There we go. Trying to think of his name. We've got far too many fucking centre backs. We've got far too many centre backs. Drunken tweet, Sean. I've had a few, but then again, too few to remember. Romero talking like a Mandalorian. The fuck is a Mandalorian? Isn't that from Back to the Future? Wowzers. Romero is our only true world-class player. He looked gone to me. Can only see Romero staying if Ange stays. Interesting. Here's a little game for you then. What is the best double act? If that's the case, Romero and Ange, Glasner and Gahey, or Inzaghi and Bastoni? Let's find out. Hit the chat. Let me know. Would you rather Bastoni and Inzaghi, Glasner and Gahey, or Ange and Romero. Can you imagine if we went back and got Bastoni? Everyone's saying Bastoni. Drago and Dorrington can go. Yeah, you can't sell Drago though. You've never seen it. What have I never seen? Star Wars. What's this? What have I never seen? I don't get the Star Wars reference. What's going on here? Star Wars Bounty Hunter. What? What are we doing here? Someone explain the Star Wars reference. I don't like being on the outside of a joke, especially if it's about me. Oh, Mandalorian. Okay, yeah, I've never seen Star Wars ever. Never, ever, ever. I've seen clips of it. I think I've had a wank once over that bird with the hair tied up in a bun when I was about 14. That's about it, I think. She was wank worthy for sure. Ange is a smooth talking master manipulator. When he says season 3 is better than season 2, it rings as hollow. Historical wanklogs. Yeah. Is that her name? Princess Leia? Yeah, we all had a wank over to Leia. A Leia wank. What are we doing here? Thomas Frank is the bookie's favourite to be next Spurs manager. Why? Who would you rather have, Thomas Frank or Ange? Do you know what? At that level, I'll probably say on that basis, just let Ange have it out. Let Ange. I don't hate Ange, and I certainly think that there's a merit to saying he deserves it. So if we're gonna like completely throw out the baby with the bathwater for Thomas Frank, not for me. But I know a lot of people rate Thomas Frank, and I don't. I think Thomas Frank is a very good very good manager. I think he's got tactical diversity. He's done a really good job at Brentford. But I can't imagine he's going to be like the creator of some like wonderful inspirational speech that is going to, create some moment in the, in the final of a cup or something. So, yeah, I can't imagine that I would be too over the moon if Thomas Frank was our new manager. To me, it's like let Ange stay, give him let's go for it, unless we can attract Inzaghi or Glasner or Xavi, and maybe one or two other names that are yet to emerge, like a Nagelsmann, something like that. I'd be interested. I'd be curious. Even maybe Edin Terzic, but I think there's problems with Terzic as well. To be honest, I think he's a control freak, and I'm not sure that will go down well. So like, I'm not like Ange out, 100%. I'm not. I'm like Ange out if we can get someone better. And there's a decent 5 or 6 name list that I'd be happy to see replace him. But I'm certainly not like fuck Ange. I'm just saying that I don't buy into his bullshit anymore. That's all I'm saying. Arts Invader. Only on a Thursday night, mate. You know what I mean? Dragosin won't be fit until January, so won't pass a medical. Exactly, he's not going anywhere. Xavi, can he speak English? Yeah, to a broken language, about as much as I can speak Spanish or Basque. That was the hardest thing out in Bilbao. No one speaks English. It's very difficult to try to charm any ladies out there in broken Spanglish because my level of charm is and banter is dependent on primarily people being able to understand what I say. If they can't understand 4 of the 5 words that come out of my mouth, then it's so all they got to look at is this, and this isn't that pretty. So it was difficult. It was a difficult couple of days with the charms, with the lucky charms. True regarding Ange speaks, keep him is we can't get seriously better. If we can't get better, seriously better. That's where I'm at. It's like, sorry, was you talking about Xavi or Xabi? Who the fuck is Xabi? Xabi Alonso. He's gone to Real Madrid. Xavi, the ex-Barcelona player that's now out of work. What bullshit, Sean? This man has integrity and is pragmatic. Who are we talking about now, Barney? Who is integrity and pragmatic? What are you talking about? Ange? I just think Ange Postecoglou has said everything to explain why whatever's not working at the time isn't his fault. He has said everything. And when you say everything, eventually you're going to be right on one thing. And then the trick is to remind people of that and hope that they forget the other 100 things. And that's what's happened with Ange. He promised us a league title challenge in our second year. We haven't heard anything about that anymore. He promised us he would win in his second season. Okay, that's the thing that came true. So when he says, I told them, they didn't listen. I heard everything you said, Ange. I heard everything you said. So I did listen to the title challenge, but that never happened. So you've just forgotten that, have you? I heard you say that we played too few games. Then it was too many. Then it was the Jed Spence is all part of my Grandmaster plan. Then it was if we finish 10th and win a trophy, it's not a good season. Then suddenly finishing 17th is part of his Grandmaster plan. As the guy said earlier in the comments, he felt it was a disgrace that Tottenham fans didn't care about the Premier League and that they wanted Manchester City to win. But he then said himself that the Premier League was completely deprioritised from January, of which, by the way, is halfway through a season that I've paid a lot of money to go and experience. Like, the guy says whatever he wants to say to always come up smelling of roses, and it's bollocks. He might be able to get the right words in the right order in the moment to win a trophy, and that's what's important. And I won't take anything away, but please don't push your gullibility onto me. If you think that guy is all good, great, cool, good for you. I don't buy it. Okay, he has earned the right, I guess, to a third season, and if he gets it, I'll get behind it. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's nighttime at noon because you guys think that the sun shines out of his asshole. It doesn't. He says whatever the fuck he wants, and then eventually he can just zone in on one thing and remind everybody what he said when that one thing is right. That's where I'm at. And the only reason I'm bringing that up is because someone else has just called me. I've left Ange alone this string. I've left Ange alone. It's all about transfers until the last 30 seconds. Sean, what positions would you get to improve Ange's squad next season? I'd get a 6. I'd get a fullback or a centre-back that can hybrid. Either side, don't mind. Depending on what we do with Bissouma and or Bentancur, I think you could make the argument for like a Udogie Luiz. I'd love to see him come in. I think we need more steel in our midfield. I'm not sure Bentancur is steely enough, and I think at the top end of the game, like when you're playing teams, I think there's a gradual pivot towards like some of these teams that are like champing at the bit to get in and amongst the big boys. There's this movement towards physicality, and that's why I don't really want Angel Gomez. Right, he's 5'5". Good player, good technical player. Maybe could be the N'Golo Kante type, but I'd rather see someone come into our team that's like a boss, a monster. And I don't think Bentancur is that guy. I don't think Bissouma is that guy. And obviously, Lucas Berghvall is feisty. But I think there could be a value to going and getting a 6 that's just like an out-and-out 6. Like a Polina would just be ta-ta-ta-ta. But if that's going to happen, I don't know. I doubt it. But I'd go and get him 100%. He ticks so many boxes. Experience, leadership, the tempo master, the conductor, and also the enforcer. Plus, he can thread a ball. He's just a wonderful, wonderful player. And he's great in the air as well, can pick up a goal or two. But I'd make the argument that you could go and get Samuel Ricky from Torino. I think he makes a lot of sense. I like Cardoso. There's a whole bunch of them. As I say, Udogie Luiz, I think makes a lot of sense. Edison, someone else mentioned Edison. Yeah, love Edison. There's also Ezequiel Palacios, right? Ezequiel Palacios is a player that I mentioned last summer, and he was part of the champion side, the league-winning team at Leverkusen. He's still at Leverkusen. He's probably worth about 50 million quid. I think because of the changes that's happening at Leverkusen right now, with Ten Hag, Alonso's gone to Real Madrid. Ten Hag's come in with a new manager. He might want to bring in new players. So I'd be interested to know whether there's anyone that doesn't want to be at the Leverkusen project anymore. And if not, And if one of those was Ezequiel Palacios, I think Palacios would be fucking phenomenal in the Premier League. I think he'd be so good. And I haven't really seen anyone linked with him or like any real sort of noise out. But if you bring him in, he's insane. He's insane. So good. So good. Should have got Frank Kessie at the time, says Jeff. Wilson's son. Wilson's son. Oh, Wilson Palacios' son. No, I don't think so. I think they're from the same. I think they're both from Ecuador, so I think they're from the same area. Sean, sometimes I think I only come here to hear you say ta 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 ta. Ravella, yeah, he's not a bad player. Not bad. Shawnee, keep your eye on Lamine Camara. Who does he play for, Terry? Have a look, see. I've still got some other stories to go through with you guys in a little while. Just dragging this bad boy out. Lamine Camara was born. He's 21 years old. He plays for Monaco and the Senegal national team. Let's have a look at him, shall we? Let's see what he does. I don't know him. I've not heard of him. Let's have a look. Present. I'll show you what I'm looking at. Let's have a look. Lamine Camara. Here we go. What are we doing here? Terry O'Shea, you have staked the claim on this one. 20 million quid with the Wasserman agency. Contract until 2029. 173. What's that? 5'9", 5'10", something like that. Right-footed. Central midfielder. Does a bit of everything. Okay. Now let's go and have a look at what he's like on... I'm not sure if we'll be able to see it. Yeah, we can. Let's have a look. I don't know anything about him, so I'm just going to riff off of this. Passing. Ooh. So he's a box-to-box, is he? That's handy. Oh, I like that. I like that. No good in the air. Recovers the ball 7 times a game. Fair play. Looks to me like he's more of a defensive midfielder than a attacking one. But he can clearly shape the ball. Passes completed long. 92%. Wow. Listen, he looks like I've never seen him, but never heard of him, Terry. But he looks like a player that I should go and run through the Y Scout because he looks like a handy player. He's a much better Pape Sarr. If he's pinging long balls though, like if he's pinging 7 long balls a game, then he must be doing that from deep. So he must be someone that leans towards the. He must be someone that leans towards the sort of more of a recovery specialist. But it does suggest looking at his. Let's have a look at his detailed performance data. Let's have a look, see how many games he's played. Yeah, there you go. So like he's not because the first article, the first suggestion said that he was also an attacking midfielder, but you can see he's box to box but leans defensive. That makes sense. Few assists. He hasn't played that many games though. 40 games in total. So a goal or an assist every 4 games. He was at Metz before, similar ratio. No injury problems. Any injury issues? Let's have a look. $17 GA in 78. Yeah, so about the same. 1 in every 4.5 games. Looks like an interesting player, mate. I'll put him on the list and I'll go and check him out. Tottenham of the King of Man United. Super chat from Callum Roche. Lucien Ogume. What the fuck is that? have a look. Lucien. Everyone's looking to the French, are we? Okay. He plays for Sevilla. Oh, Sevilla. Okay. Another player I need to go and check out. How many times he hasn't made it into the French under 21? He's under 21 French player. Hasn't broken into the first team. He was at Inter, was he, before he went to there? Okay. Again, don't know too much about him. 35 games for La Liga. Talk to me. Don't just give me a name, Callum. Thank you for the super chat, but let me know. Yes, perfect. We heard you 4 times. What does that mean? What are we saying here? I'd like someone like McTominay in our midfield. You know what? Scott McTominay, he is one of those kind of like just brilliant players in your squad that's never going to let you down. Chips in with goals. Last season, he chipped in with a load of goals for United at key crucial moments. And he did really well, didn't he? He did really well for Napoli as well. Was it Napoli? Is he at Napoli now? Scott McTominay? He's over in Italy, isn't he? Should we sign African players due to AFCON next season? Yeah, it's always a concern, isn't it? But the AFCON is the AFCON every 2 years or every 4 years? I think it's every 4 years, isn't it? So it's not like the end of the world. You can make the same argument for the for the Asia Cup. Need to buy 3 proven quality players. Yeah, we've done the Christian Romero story, and we just go through what other stories we got here. Oh, this was the story I was going to show you. This guy Ellis Lehane had loads of interest from Italy. You see that on the screen? I think he scored like 20 goals for us last season. The 18-year-old has signed a new 2-year contract at Tottenham until 2027. That is the deal Tottenham wanted to do. Went and said he scored 17 goals this season. There was definitely interest from other clubs. He was heavily linked with the move to Italy as well. Therefore, this was a good deal to get across the line. I think Lehane will feature for the under-21s next season as one of the strikers alongside Mason Melia, who is joining Tottenham, joined the club this summer. With Lehane locked up for the future, Tottenham should continue to strengthen their squad this summer, which means investing in the summer transfer window. Victory in the Europa League means Europa Champions League next season. As a result, Spurs need to strengthen their squad. Yada, yada, yada. Tottenham ready to sell Alejo Veliz. Tottenham are ready to sell after a season on loan with Spanish side Espanyol. Veliz spent the last year and a half in Spain, joining Sevilla on loan midway through the season before signing for Espanyol last summer. The striker is not the only Tottenham Hotspur player to have enjoyed the Spanish sun this season after the Lily Whites ended a 17-year trophy drought. Now, with the summer of change underway, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the club are ready to sell Veliz as Espanyol reach a transfer decision. They don't want him. He made 29 appearances for Espanyol, coming off the bench to help his temporary side avoid relegation with a 2-0 win against Las Palmas at the RCDE. Therefore, he scored 4 goals in 29 and played 1,303 minutes. Tottenham's season was unpredictable. It'll always be remembered as one which gave the young players the chance to shine on some of the biggest stages. Ajayi, Callum Owasi both received winners' medals as Tottenham won the Europa League. Archie Gray played an important role. Yada, yada, yada. And that Mikey Moore story is that he's just signed with a new contract, a new agent. So, and then they're going to give him a new contract as well, which is interesting. So it's clearly still very much involved in the youth system. It's good news about that Lehane guy. I don't know too much about him. I'll ask Johnny about him or Dave. Hopefully, we're going to be doing the Devil's Advocate guys in a few hours' time, about 4 p.m. this evening or this afternoon. So make sure you come back for that. Is there anything else I want to bring to your attention right now? Not too sure. There's one story here that says that Bentancur, here we go, from LondonWorld.com is saying that Bentancur is out of contract in 2026, and you wonder how Tottenham are going to convince him to pen a new deal, given how far Spurs look for competing for domestic silverware. So he's going to be gone, allegedly. and then also Richalison, and also, well, according to this, Christian Romero. But as I say, I think that noise around Christian Romero is interesting and real, and that he might stay if we can convince, or if Ange Postecoglou stays. It will be interesting, guys. It will be interesting. I thought Veliz was generational, says It's My Face. Yeah, who the fuck knows, mate? I didn't know what sort of player he was when he came in. 29 appearances, 1 goal for Espanyol for Veliz. It said 4 on that list. Pretty poor. Sell Rich, Sonny, Biss, Davies and Johnson. Palace relegated next season due to Europa fixtures. Palace won't get relegated next season. Well, it depends if they keep hold of their squad. Agume, that says Callum. Alice mentioned him as someone who would be good for us. Looks like he could be a single pivot playmaker. Interesting. Okay. Arden Jashari. Everyone's got some names, haven't they? Everyone's got some names. Right, guys, listen, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll be back in a few hours for a Devil's Advocate. Johnny and Dave coming back hopefully later on this afternoon. So I'm going to organise that. I'm going to go take the dog out and then get on with some actual work. Thank you very much for hanging around, and we will see you later on tonight, and I'll see you maybe later on this evening as well. Maybe I'll do 3 today because I just feel like talking bollocks for a couple of hours. So if you want to come and be a part of some bollocks, then I'll see you then. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day. Whatever you're doing, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.